It's a quasi sort of government, quasi-military group, very sinister group, that are operating free of any oversight from Congress or the House of Representatives.
We have to take back the archetype of the warrior from the Pentagon.
The basis has to be love if we want peace.
In this time of change, to take note of the place in nature where you are regenerated.
If patients receive prayer, they have a 50 to 100% fewer side effects than people who are just treated conventionally.
What is happening? Something is going on. Can you feel the way?
I had a friend of mine who I respect very much and kept expressing all this interest in UFO phenomena, and I just kept writing the whole thing off as complete nonsense. I remember very vividly him bringing up with me the topic of UFOs, and I would just disregard it immediately without even listening to any of the evidence or any of the stories. I just, flushed it right down the toilet. And after about 2 years of poking and prodding at me, I finally took the time out and listened to what he had to say about this, and he showed me some information, a few articles that had been written on it in Popular Science and amongst other things. And I just eventually gave in and decided that I'd give him a try, and we went out to this remote area, Area 51, now quite infamous, secret military facility out in Nevada. And we had an experience where we saw a craft, which was probably military, but it was a flying saucer-shaped craft, and that sparked my interest. From that moment onwards, I realized that there is something to this.
We have to take back the archetype of the warrior from the Pentagon and from the military. To get in touch with what China calls fierce compassion and the anger that is in the third chakra, which is indeed the beginning of compassion, and it is a beginning of our prophetic work, moral outrage. Being in touch with that, instead of allowing it to be covered up by the distractions, otherwise known as addictions, that our culture is so good at peddling.
That we always need to keep coming back to ourselves and to be examining our own motives. And we need to allow that anger to arise, but then we need to take care of our anger, but not when we're angry. We need to let it motivate us, but then we need to transform it so that we're acting out of compassion. It may be a very fierce compassion. It may be a very ardent compassion. It may be adamantine, unmovable. For example, like Julia Butterfly, who won't come out of the tree. But the basis has to be love if we want peace.
We say the Lord of the plants is a man with one leg, one arm, and one eye who is still smarter, stronger, and faster than us. That is how we regard the plant world. When you can pick up a stone and learn how to communicate with the spirit in matter, then you are beginning to come in the direction where so-called primitive people live.
One of the most high-profile studies in the country now is going on at Duke University School of Medicine. Put this on your radar screen. You're going to be hearing all sorts of information about this in the coming months. This is run by Dr. Mitchell Krukoff, who is the Director of Cardiovascular Laboratories at Duke Medical School, and his research associate, who is a registered nurse and nursing researcher, Suzanne Crater. And let me tell you, in all of these research studies looking at intercessory prayer and healing, there's a nurse behind the scenes. Let me briefly describe to you what this study looks like. This is, again, one of those randomized, double-blind, prospective, matched clinical things. And so if you went into Duke Medical Center's VA hospital for a heart catheterization or angioplasty, coronary blood vessel dilating procedure, here's what would happen. You would get the option of being treated conventionally, or you would get the option of being treated conventionally plus being prayed for. Now this is a double-blind study. You wouldn't know which group you were in. But if you wound up in the prayed for group, you would find yourself receiving more prayer overnight than you probably ever received in your life. They notify prayer groups around the globe to begin praying for you. And it comes as a virtual shock for these North Carolina patients later to learn about some of the people who were actually praying for them.